Welcome to Cryptid Technical. Please enjoy your stay. It's probably permanent. As you navigate the halls of our, home, our technicians will provide you guidance. Stay out of all the Wendigo's bedroom and don't accept directions from Granny. And all these snacks are off limits. Enjoy.
Guess who's back?
Back again.
Backstreet?
Andrew's back. Tell a friend.
He said Backstreet's back, all right.
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Cryptid Tech. We came back.
Today I am your esteemed co-host, the beardless boy wonder.
Bearded. No, you have upgraded.
I'm Ninja.
You've
You
upgraded
would.
today. Are we?
You are the fuzzy kind of like he's almost getting a beard.
Is this the
You're
Ginyu?
CJ today. I'm Ninja.
Are we Ginyu
I'm
forcing
CJ
the
too.
episode today?
Sure.
You shot your Ginyu Force thing at him. So now you're each other.
Yep.
Okay.
He's the little green dude.
Well, actually, I'm Ninja. You're CJ. And you're Andrew.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, I guess I'll lower my pants so my ass crack shows. You fans don't have to see it. I do.
It doesn't show that much.
It doesn't.
It really does. What are you looking at me like that for? My butt crack not sticking out like
no,
that.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying it doesn't.
You're such a dick.
Just be glad that he isn't a plumber.
I wear the uniform well.
Yeah, I was gonna say he feels like it.
I might got big butt crack, but
Those hips don't lie.
today's Cryptid got big heads.
Got big. He's a thick boy.
He is sort of weird. But
Yeah.
before we do that, we need to go over.
That boy thick.
Truth or trash?
Yes. So truth or trash this week. You guys voted, and the question was: jackalopes can be hunted in multiple states year round, but hunting them can differ. Some states allow only slingshots and tranquilizing pellets. This is actually trash. I did play a little bit of words on you. They actually only have a certain time frame that you're allowed to hunt them. In Wyoming, it is only allowed to get a license for them, and you're only allowed to hunt on Jackalope Hunting Day, which is June 31st. Which you're allowed sunrise to sunset, trying to get one of those bad boys.
Better hope lightning doesn't strike.
Yeah, like it gets mating. Well, then you have a better chance because they pop out babies, right?
Then you'll have two.
Yeah.
You're only allowed one per
South,
license.
yeah, South Dakota, their range is a little bit better for you, but you're only allowed to hunt at elevations of 5,000 feet above sea level, right? So June 1st through October 31st is between the hours of midnight and 3 a.m. So hell of a lot less time frame, but only the third night prior to a full moon. So you literally have to check the lunar calendar in between June 1st, the 31st of October, and you only got that maybe like two or three times to be able to check. And they are the ones that only allow the slingshots and tranquilizer pellets. So good luck to hunters out there in that sense. Yeah, so that one is the big old trash. Kind of like how I feel.
It's kind of how I feel about what we're covering today.
Oh, well, I mean, I like the
And the fact that
things.
we've called it a cryptid.
Yeah, it's this is like a stretch. This is a stretch these stretchers.
It's super interesting, but it's like,
Yeah.
it really is like reaching. And like, it makes me feel sort of bad for calling this one a cryptid. Like morally bad for calling it a cryptid.
It's yeah. But there are cryptid-esque tendencies for it, so
Well, sure.
yeah.
Guys, today we're covering Melon Heads.
Lore and mythology.
Is that like the candy lemon head?
I'll be honest, I thought I was looking at a Stewie Griffin blackout.
Damn. No, no. These are Melon Heads, and these are people who, in the short, were children taken care of at a facility or facilities for a condition called hydroencephalitis, and eventually got out, turned into cannibals. They live in the woods. And they're just like creepy little things, and like they'll come up on you if you're out in the woods and they'll eat you and stuff. That's the long and the short. So,
I mean, they didn't have to be cannibals. What the hell's up with that?
well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We're gonna move into the first iteration, which takes place in Ohio. There's a guy named Dr. Crow who took care of these children at his facility, and he experimented on them. And like these weren't even like decent like experiments where you would put somebody on like a treadmill and track their heart rate and like, all right, how does this condition affect you? Like he wasn't looking for a cure. He was just doing mean shit to them. He injected them with chemicals, like all kinds of stuff.
I guess that's why they got all cannibalies.
Well, because of the experiments that he performed on these children, they either lost their minds completely, becoming insane, or he made them retarded. Which brain damage and a lack of mental capacity can actually come from hydroencephalitis. It's a byproduct, or a complication of the condition. This one is probably the most common story you're going to hear of Felt Mansion, which was operated by a guy who also he wanted to take care of children with hydroencephalitis.
Okay.
Well, in this facility, but he was horrible to them. He abused them physically. He abused them verbally, and eventually they killed him. They murdered him. They chopped him up into little pieces, hid him around the mansion, and then skittered off into the woods where they became feral, and they became cannibals, and they live in these underground caverns, and they only emerge to feed.
Dang.
Gross, right?
That's like, yeah, but like, there's gotta be. Oh well, I mean, you had a mansion though. Why wouldn't you live in the mansion?
Well, I mean, so like I said, I'm actually gonna talk about hydroencephalitis in a little bit because I'm gonna tie some stuff in, but it'll make sense when we learn exactly what this condition is because it's horrible.
I'll be honest, I think you're saying that wrong too.
Hydroencephalitis.
Yeah, you're saying the itis part. That thing has an LUS at the end. At least that's the one I've been seeing. Hydroencephalus, I guess.
Hydroencephalus.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, hydroencephalus. You're right. I've been saying it wrong. Whatever. Hydroencephalus. Anyway,
Wouldn't be cryptid tech.
right? We can't ever say anything. That's a huge word. All right. Usually I read them out pretty well.
Yeah, usually. I just heard the itis. I was like, that doesn't sound right. So I was looking over my notes and I was like, I think it's different.
So, and then the other one is Connecticut, and out in Fairfield County, it was an asylum for the criminally insane, and it burned down in 1960. Then there were 10 to 20 unaccounted for inmates who escaped and survived into the woods, and they also became a Melon Head legend as well. They also were cannibals. And these people also developed hydrocephalus. And it's just, that's what it is. All three of these stories. They had abusive caretakers in some sort of facility where they either killed and or burned down the facility itself, escaped into the woods to become cannibals. Which is a wild story. Think about, like, you have these people who are suffering from this horrible condition.
Yeah.
And for those of us who are now wondering, what is hydrocephalus? So that's when I believe it's spinal cord fluid. Let me check my notes.
Brain fluid.
cerebrospinal fluid
Yeah, both.
fills up inside your skull, and it puts pressure on the brain and whatnot.
Mhm.
You can actually develop an enlarged head, and then like in infants and whatever, it'll cause growth problems. It's deadly for kids. It can kill them. But since we were talking about children being in these facilities, I want to go over the signs and symptoms, and then what sort of behavior these kids would have. So among toddlers and children, you're looking at having headaches, blurred or double vision, eyes fixed downward, abnormal enlargement of a toddler's head, sleepiness, lethargy, nausea or vomiting, unstable balance, poor coordination, poor appetite, seizures, and urinary incontinence.
It's a hell of a list.
Yeah. Well, it also has behavioral and cognitive alterations to it, where it'll cause irritability, it'll mess with their personalities, it'll decline school performance, and it'll cause delays for previously acquired skills such as walking or talking. And then as you age, you can have headache, lethargy, coordination or balance loss, bladder control loss, or you have to pee constantly. It'll mess up your vision. It'll screw up your memory and concentration skills.
Did it say how you would get something along the lines of this?
Let me see.
Probably genetic disorder, I would imagine.
Genetically,
It occurs most frequently among infants and adults over 60.
Infants over 60, they got a changeling too.
Well, I mean, you get to wear the diapers again.
I'm not seeing
Depends.
like what
Get it.
would be the cause.
Depends.
Hmm.
So just
Oh,
something
causes.
genetic.
Here we are. Causes.
Okay.
It's caused by an imbalance between how much cerebrospinal fluid is produced and how much is absorbed into the bloodstream.
So I'm not absorbing enough because abundance.
Right.
Doesn't what's that drug that drains your fluid?
I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
Ecstasy?
I mean, the LSD will replace spinal fluid.
I thought ecstasy gets rid of spinal fluid.
It might. I don't know.
Will that be like an alternative? Not saying kids do drugs, but like if there is something like that out there, then there's got to be like a medical version.
Well,
of
they
it.
typically do surgeries to alleviate the issue.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the downsides to those hard drugs would be.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a hard drug version of it. There's got to be a legal splicing of things, because like you still take the benefit of. Like, okay, case in point, Viagra. Viagra was initially made for testosterone growing hair. But then they're like, oh, well, it gives you boners, right? So they changed the formula up just so it does that. And they sold it as like the miracle pill for people that have problems with erections. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, there's got to be a version of that that is medically sound, but is used in that sense, but not used for like getting yourself high.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like the aftermath of those drugs would be like, because like ecstasy like microwaves you.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, I don't know, but just
I'm sure like there's got to
Yeah.
be something.
from the description
Yeah.
of this condition, I don't feel like these kids would be capable of murdering people, chopping them up, burning a place down, and then surviving in the woods and eating other people.
Yeah. Let alone surviving like a winter without clothing or anything like that.
Well, they're underground. It's
Well, yeah, if you're in a cavern, it maintains 55 degrees year round.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, that part is survivable. I'll be not super comfortable,
yeah.
but you won't freeze to death. But yeah, it was just the whole concept of the melon head in itself is just really strange, and I feel like a lot of this was just demonizing
like
children's conditions.
well, yeah,
Yeah, I
like
mean, all three of these are completely different stories that end up the same way. Like the one was guy did experiments, they developed the disease. Another one was actually kids who had it and eventually went feral. And then the third one was basically people that escaped, and then it was inbreeding is the thing that caused it. So it's just like it's three different ways of
Yeah, I mean,
these
the end
stories.
result was still hydrocephalus.
Yeah.
Was like what these people had that caused the melon head condition.
Yeah.
yeah.
And like they were abused.
I had a different name for it when I was looking in that, but
What'd you have?
I can get to that in when we move.
Okay.
Okay.
But I mean that's pretty much it for like lore and description and whatever. I just thought it was like the whole thing was super interesting.
Yeah.
That was the changeling.
Yeah, he's around.
That's still the changeling.
He's been a handful right now.
But yeah, I mean that's it really.
Yeah.
We can get into
Hidden in plain sight.
So the name that I came across was cerebral edema, aka brain swelling, where the fluid builds up in the brain and gives it pressure. And that pressure is actually called the insane clown posse. I'm just joking. It's ICP, which is called intracranial pressure. So it's not juggalos, unfortunately, that cause the brain swelling, but it kind of gives you that big deformed head, and that unfortunate. Now, even though they are watermelons, I want to shout out to this. There are football fans out there, the Rams, and they've done this since 1982, where they carve watermelons and put them on top of their head and wear them as helmets, and they're called the Melon Heads. So they've been sporting the Rams for the last, I don't know how many, math, 8, 30, 28, 38, 38 years, right? There we go.
Yeah, doing
Math. I was like, that's 20 years. Why am I not adding the 10 to it? 38 years they've been doing it, where they carve out the center and they put their big old head into a watermelon. I don't know why they do it, but I guess they're Melon Heads. There's another German band out there called Melon Heads. Unfortunately, they didn't get big on YouTube. It was pretty good for the 2 songs I heard. I will definitely throw that up on the YouTube channel. We did mention how they're kind of deformed, of like deformities at birth. So I was like looking at movies, other stuff like that had something similar, of like messed up faces or things.
well, it's possible for them to come out with it at birth.
Yeah,
But it's also possible to develop this at any point in your life.
yeah.
It's just it's most prevalent with infants or seriously old people.
Yes.
So weaken immune systems.
So I was looking at, this is the stretch for me. People that had the bulbous heads or stuff like that. So you had Mask, which is not the Jim Carrey movie. It's the one with Cher.
Hey,
guys. We'll talk about that really crappy movie in a second. Rocky Dennis is his name. His mom was Cher. He had like a elongated head of like a boom to boom, like bro.
Oh right.
Yeah. And he's just trying to be accepted in society. Elephant Man was another one where the guy had a bulbous head and
Well, he
arm
just had elephantitis, didn't he?
yes, but like deformed head. There's not that many Melon Head movies out there, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You have the Yellow Bastard from Sin City, which was the guy that got his pecker shot off, and then they redid surgery to put his pecker back on, but basically it made his head bulbous, he lost all of his hair, and he started smelling like a dumpster fire. So
It
he
turned
got,
his skin yellow too.
so he got like a melon head in that sense.
Yeah, it looked like it. Yeah, I couldn't see it.
And then, which people, I don't know, I can't really say because you hate Lord of the Rings and I hate the Goonies. So like,
What's wrong with the Goonies?
a lot of things are wrong with the Goonies.
I don't hate the Goonies, but it's not that great of a movie. Like if I have other options, I'm watching something else.
So
I mean, I actually have the shirt on right now.
as well, okay. I also own a Goonies shirt, unfortunately, because I liked how it looked. I'm not gonna be a super hater on it because the mouth is all the characters like standing there, and it looks really cool.
Yeah,
And
okay.
it's like a skull head. Sorry, skull head. The mouth is all the characters just standing there. So that's the teeth look like they're
Yeah.
So, my problem with the Goonies, but I'm sorry. So Sloth from the Goonies, he was another like it seemed like inbred type deal, but he didn't really have a melon head. He just had a deformed face in that sense. But there's certain things I dislike about it. So an octopus being able to live in that environment for as long as it did, because I didn't see any fish or anything in the sea cavern, and like clearly someone would see an octopus that big zooming in and out of like a cavern on the coast for
Well,
as long as it did.
I thought they took that
Oh well,
out.
I mean, there's a cryptid which we can cover in the future, which is super interesting. I can't remember the exact name of it right now, but it is a massive octopus down in the Arctic or down the Antarctic, and this team of explorers first found it. And like I said, I can't remember what the heck it's called, but we can cover this in the future. It's a really cool story, and this octopus is huge, and it was able to utilize its tentacles and body morphing abilities that like octopus have to make itself look like a diver. So when these scientists were down there studying things in this, it's like a big saltwater like lake in the Antarctic, and
Yeah.
they were in there, and this thing swam up towards them, and they thought it was one of the scientists. And by the time they realized that it was in fact this octopus, it was too late, and this thing unraveled and started yanking people off the boats and stuff, and it killed like almost all of them.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
You'd
it
have
was
think an
confirmed
octopus
then.
that big, you'd have seen it coming.
Yes.
But then it really isn't a cryptid then, because it's been confirmed that it was there.
No, it's not confirmed. This is a story. It's
Yeah.
it's a cryptid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you have stories about like how Bigfoot killed a person, which we totally
The way,
talked about that. If you want to go back to the trial of Bigfoot,
Yeah, where in Chris's words, yeeted a person off a cliff.
yes, off a waterfall, a 400-foot waterfall, right? Yeeted a lady off a 400-foot waterfall.
Oh yeah, they're on a trial.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can go back and check that out. Another problem I had, going back to Goonies, another problem I had was there was piping and other things for the restaurant above that they saw right next to the murder piano. How in the crap would someone put piping in the ground and not turn to their right
Yeah.
and look at said murder piano made of skulls and all this other stuff, and it's like, this ain't my job. I'm just putting piping in. I wouldn't be like, hey boss, there's like a death piano down there or something.
Yeah, like there's a lot of dead bodies in this place.
Yeah, there's like skulls and everything, and like
And that was after the dead drop freaking booby
Yeah.
trap.
yeah,
That guy was Indiana Jones for a day.
he's like, look, I had to get a slide down to the freaking spot where this tunnel was, and I'm just putting this PCP pipe in or whatever, just for or whatever the hell it's called, and just getting the hell out. But I mean, like, it's one of those movies that unfortunately as a kid I watched way too many times. So like I'm very nitpicky. And then I went back and I watched it as an adult. And I was like, why did I like as a kid I enjoyed Ren and Stimpy.
I was not permitted to watch that show as a child.
As
I
an
enjoyed
adult, I'm like, why did I like this? Because I don't understand the humor. Some of the stuff, like, yeah, okay. But like it's a lot of like jokes I guess I grew out of, but I don't know.
The one thing I like, or I found out, I think it was, what was it the little Asian kid? I forget his name. The one with all the gadgets.
Yeah.
That kid grew up to be Greg in freaking Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just like I was looking through. I was like, this guy looks familiar. What other movies did I see him? And then all of a sudden, I was going down. I was like, he was in the Goonies. I was like, oh damn.
Dang. Wasn't this is gonna be bad? Well, who was the kid in Indiana Jones? I was
Same
gonna
kid.
say- Okay. All
I
right,
think it was
good.
the same kid.
Yeah, that's why I didn't want to be like. So like
Dr. Jones.
hanging on the inbred stuff. The movies that because once these kids were out and eating people and whatever, I'm sure they were just mating with each other. Hillbillies esque things you have like The Hills Have Eyes and Wrong Turn. Those are
Children
like
of the Corn.
yeah, like well, they weren't really deformed. They were just like
Yeah.
Hills Have Eyes and Wrong Turn. Those were deformed ass hillbillies, especially like the later in the series because those had Wrong Turn got up to like 6, I think. Wrong Turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I didn't see anything when I was doing like after I read and I watched several YouTube videos about the Melon Heads and everything like that. And after I learned what their condition was, I really wanted an understanding of that condition before coming into the episode. Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Like, they have this problem. What caused that? And I'm not going to say it's not possible, but I'm saying in the research that I did on the condition in itself and whatever, I didn't really see like inbreeding
Well, I figured.
as like a possible thing. Like this.
Oh no, I
is-
was figuring after the fact that
Oh,
they
okay.
when they're already out there in the caves, eating people, murking people like that. What else are they gonna do?
I mean, I could see this particular condition causing that sort of line of thought because it does alter your personality. It alters the way you think. It'll
Yeah,
degrade your intelligence. So it's like I don't see it being so far fetched as to being like, well, maybe they might eat people. Anyway,
well, yeah, those hillbillies in Wrong Turn and Hills Have Eyes, they ate the people as well.
yeah, I guess that kind of lines up then.
Yeah,
But do you think that something like inbreeding would cause that?
no, well, inbreeding causes a lot
Because
of
that was
issues.
because I mean like that was like the big staple, and like the true stories that those movies were based on.
Yeah, the inbreeding can cause a hell of a lot of issues, and like you can see it in dog breeds and other stuff. Like people try to keep pure breed dogs, but like you need the mixture. You need the like that's what makes dogs strong, or that's what like makes people strong. When you have like I'm not promoting like no one. I don't think, in my opinion, no one should like marry their brother or sister or cousin or anything like that. I mean, people go out and do that, but like you're not expanding the gene pool, and like you have higher chances of having deformities, unfortunately, in children if you have children. So
yeah,
yeah.
you are.
Mhm.
yeah, and like so that's why I feel like if these kids are out there and they continue to survive and grow, eventually they'll get to that age of being teenagers.
Yeah,
And
well, when
they'll want to do like same stuff that teenagers would want to do and have kids, whether or not those kids will be having the same deformities or whatever.
nature takes over.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
they'll have additional ones because
More than likely they
Yeah.
would, because like when it comes to genetics, and I'll just take this from when I was breeding reptiles and the brief time that I bred rats for a little bit. It if you think of it as like building a house, so you take this and you build this house out of brick, right? And it's a good strong house. It's made out of brick.
yeah,
But now you need a second house. So you take the same exact bricks you built the first house with, and you build the next house. And that might turn out okay. But you still had to rip those bricks apart, which caused a little bit of damage to them. They're not as good. Now you're going to build a third house, and you
Yeah.
take those same exact bricks and you build that third house again. Now you have bricks that are fucked up.
yeah,
So, and I mean, it sort of works with breeding like that. And it really does break down the genetics. And it really does do a lot of damage
Yeah.
to, we'll say specimens, because I can't think of a better word. So, like
Breeds,
when you take,
yeah.
so like
Learn your Punnett squares.
yeah, so like if you have this good breed, and then you take an outside source, it's like adding new bricks to that building, and
Yeah.
and it helps strengthen it, which is why you don't want to over inbreed. Like right now for my mantises, I have fruit fly cultures. I'm only going to use those fruit flies for so many cultures because they'll eventually be they're just not quality
Yeah.
after so many. You can overbreed, and it's sort of the
Hopefully they're not bees.
like just like breeding. There's just yellow jackets in there one day.
Yeah.
That'd be awful.
Yep.
That would be entertaining to watch. Be like, how the hell did that happen?
Yeah, koala bees.
Genetics mutations, and flies turned into yellow jackets, and
Yeah.
then
Right.
come back the next day and there's hornets. It'd be like, okay, this has gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's a little bit of how genetics works.
Yeah. Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like obviously the kids aren't going to all be the same, but like if they're out there for that long, and they don't
they're
have
breeding
anything
with each
new,
other.
yeah, because then it's going to be the kids of kids, and then kids of kids.
Well, yeah,
kids.
I was confirming with you that like
Yeah.
that line of genetics will just start to break down.
Yeah.
And if you go by, do you know what Punnett squares are, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So when you go with these guys, you get two people with the same disorder. It's definitely going to be in there, and the chances of it actually going higher risk.
Yeah.
And eventually, like I said, the inbreeding, there's going to just be more things to add. And then as you add everything into one person,
Yep.
degradation, there's only going to be so much cognitive function within a few generations.
Now, I only had two other movies I wanted to talk about. Or sorry, there was a book and then a movie. Attack of the Melon Head was a book where it is the Melon Heads. And then one kind of similar, I guess he would be a cousin or something, which was Pumpkinhead. Pumpkinhead is kind of
Yeah.
the same idea of like being bulbous head or whatever, but later in the series it became like a demon or something. I was like, what the hell? 3 games I found which were interesting. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare had a cheat where you change the heads of the soldiers into melons, which is pretty funny. But the funny part about it that made me laugh was one of the captains that you ran around with was Captain McMillan. And once you put this cheat in, his name changes to Captain McMillan. So Millan changes to Lmellon. So McMillan. Backyard Sports is kind of like a kiddie version of like let's go play baseball and other stuff like that. They have a team called the Melon Heads, which is a melon with a baseball like hidden. And then person out there, I didn't check out who wrote the mod, but they wrote a mod called Fruit Life, which in Half-Life 2 it replaces all the officers' heads with melons. So you have that watermelon sitting on top of someone's head in Modern Warfare, which is actually put in by the developers, and then someone put it into Half-Life 2 as a mod, which I thought was really cool because I don't know if you ever played Half-Life 2, but like the opening scene of coming off of the when you first step in and you're into the game and you're going into the train station, get off the subway, and you see how much police officers are a dick when like there's a trash can and the guy goes, you see a can on top of the trash can, and the police officer takes his nightstick, knocks it on the ground, and he says, "Pick up that can, citizen."
I'm trying to find it because there's I should have wrote it down when I saw it get talked about. There's a found footage film out there, and in that film is a melon head, except it's like super exaggerated to the point where like the guy's like in a chair and like his head's back, and the big melon portion of his head is just straight back, and he's like trying to talk, and it's got like this weird voice, and it doesn't make any sense. I'm trying to figure out what movie that was.
Oh, gotcha. Well, once you find it, we can always throw it up on Discord, YouTube. In that sense, we'll add into it. But I want to just give the some general stats while you're looking for these bad boys. Now, they didn't really lose much in the sense of their physical strength because they're not weak in anything.
Yes, they are.
It weakens them?
Yeah.
It does weaken them? Like they lose muscle mass or...
Yeah.
Coordination too.
It, shit. Hold on, I gotta reopen my, notes about that real quick.
Yeah, the coordination was an issue, and the ability to actually do stuff went down.
So,
Deficits in muscle tone and strength, poor responsiveness to touch, poor growth, eyes fixed downwards, blurred vision, unstable balance, and poor coordination, poor appetite.
all right, so we're going to go with 3.5 for strength.
That's probably fair.
So, still enough to swarm a person and take them down. But if you're like one-on-one with a melon head, I think you'd be able to like Toro it, get out of the way. Speed, I'm also going to put at 3.5. Maybe because I don't think it's going to be running fast at you. If it's trying to run, it's going to...
Especially with poor coordination.
Yeah. This seems like one of those light jog or like slowly walking towards you type deals. One of those like slow zombs. Charisma, I am definitely going to give it a 2. I mean, like it's still... It looks weird as crap, man. That's... Intelligence, I guess it would be a 5 because it talks still, right?
No.
Does it it still has the ability of speech?
Yeah, they can't. I can't find this damn movie.
Yeah.
That
Loud.
That's fine. At least they know I was trying to look something up for them.
Yeah.
No, they have the ability to talk. It can
They would also
degrade their ability to talk. It can also make them not able to, but for the most part, they are able to speak.
They could also know by just doing the Patreon, checking out the video.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying. I really wanted to find that movie title
Yeah.
because I watched the scene from the movie that had the melon head in it, and it was super spooky and
Yeah.
it felt super exaggerated, for what the condition would have done, but it could have given like this like example of why I have an answer for one of our sections coming up after this. So,
Okay, so I did agility was a 3.5, strength 3.5, charisma 2, intelligence I'm still going to put at 5 because it still can comprehend language, right?
yeah, I mean,
And
it-
speak language.
the condition has the ability to make them retarded. Like mentally, it has the ability to cause mental retardation, but that's not guaranteed to happen.
Yeah.
It'll fuck with your cognitive abilities, like your
Right.
ability to reason, but it's not
You-
necessarily.
Yeah. Like, so you'll understand at like the level of a 1-year-old or something. Like,
Well, I mean, beyond that,
okay.
beyond that,
I would say it depending on exactly how bad the condition is. You'll have some that would be able to talk and others that would just be rambling.
it really has levels of
So-
severity.
So, okay, so we're looking at a 3 to 5 range, unfortunately, in that sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for that's more fair because like you
Yeah.
could have those situations where the issues are purely physical
Yeah.
and it doesn't actually affect their mind, and then there's ones where it turns them into a vegetable for the
Yeah.
most part.
And then we're talking maybe a possibility of breeding further issues in if it goes to the breeding.
Yeah, if they're down in those caverns together and they're just breeding and maintaining that, because these are humans.
Yeah.
These aren't special creatures. That's not a Wendigo.
No.
They didn't transform in anything. These are humans. So if we're maintaining a population, because we're talking about these like 1960s,
Yeah.
if there's still a population of them going, they're breeding. And yeah, those problems are just going to get worse.
Was Supernatural the one that you were going to throw something at? Because I would have put them at a 0.
No.
Okay.
No. I'm a different section, not a stat.
Oh, okay. All right, so we got the stat boys going into murking them.
Attention! Combat training.
All right, so, well, these are, I would say if you're gonna fight them, I would say, yeah, normal, depending on the level of the disease that they have, you can either be at a regular human capability to damn near vegetable, so.
I don't know if I would like fight them so much as like wrap a blanket around and be like,
Well,
This-
you
this-
defend
it's okay.
yourself.
It's okay.
This is the main section of our episode where when I said earlier on where I felt like this was going to get morally complicated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this would be,
Yeah.
I know.
Did you feel awkward having to figure this out? Like, I wonder how I'm going to fight a mentally handicapped individual. Like you had to ask yourself that question for your part of this for your section of the show. How am I going to beat up a mentally handicapped person? This had to have been awkward for you.
No,
not
he
really.
went on.
Oh, Jesus.
He was all ruthless aggression. He's just like,
He was just like, I'm going to fucking kill it.
just trip it.
Well, you're the one that always just like, I'm gonna shoot it.
Dude, I'm not doing anything.
I'm gonna poke it in its
I'm not
eye.
going to be the guy who's like, oh, yeah, big bad cryptid hunter. Look at you. Yeah.
It's coming right for us. And then you're just gonna,
Oh, my God.
South Park.
you're going Jimbo on him.
Oh, my God.
Sprinkle
he
some-
won't be that bad.
Go stand in the corner.
Just sprinkle some crack on it.
Now
That's
you're
another one.
arresting it?
Yeah. No, I'm plausible cause for shots fired.
No, but I mean, if you're gonna defend yourself from these guys, I mean, when it comes to, them attacking you, cannibalizing, it's been said that they've actually ripped people out of cars. So,
How though?
they
You'd
probably
have to
open the
stop.
door. Like they probably can open the door, and it's.
We're gonna
I'm not
get
saying they're ripping the door off, but they could probably be like, hey,
the,
hit
sec-
the
the,
door.
the section after combat when we talk about this. I'm going to talk about all of that stuff. I have a whole thing. I have a rant I'm going to go on.
Oh God, that should be interesting. But like I said, you're dealing with people. Again, they're not going to fight very well. But I did actually think about it for a bit and how they might attack, considering the lack of muscle imbalance. I would see them as ambush attackers. Like think of it if they even have a pack mentality.
That's even if they can pick the correct one of you with their double vision.
I know. I'm just saying I'm going into hypotheticals for this one. It's a hard one to really think about when you got somebody like this. It's not a methodical murderer. It has primal tendencies. But
I'm thinking they're waiting on a street corner with like a rag and like, wash your window. And you're like, oh, all right. And then they stop the car and you're like, haha, I got you.
yeah, maybe. But they wouldn't be at all hard to defeat. Like if there's like a bunch of them, like 10 of them, and you're trying to get away, I mean excuse me, but it might be a challenge getting away from a mass of them. Like one-on-one, you're not gonna have much of a problem. And I would think that they have minor abilities of, using rocks or pointed sticks.
I mean, they're not all completely brain zapped.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, is a very wide area of what can be had with this.
And I don't see them having very high numbers, to be honest with you, because with that much inbreeding, infant mortality rates are going to be huge.
Yeah,
I
survival.
mean, massive mortality rates.
Oh yeah. But when they're coming after you, I mean, they, like I said, they have the abilities to at least think about minimalist things. Like they'll use a stick or they'll use a rock to come and hit you upside the head. That's why I think with like a pack mentality, like you find one, and there might be like two on each side or behind you while you're going to get the one guy. Somebody come up behind you, hit your head in the rock.
Mm.
So like, I figure them as more ambush predators than they would be in anything else. Like they wouldn't just be like, oh hey, what's up, and then try and attack you. It's not going to be a one-on-one. It's going to be a group effort.
Mhm.
It's because it says that they take down deer. Like they eat a whole bunch of stuff. Like they are cannibals, they do eat. So it's like it has to be more than one or a small group to take something down and bring to the rest. That's why I was thinking of the pack mentality more than anything else. I mean, it depends if you learn, self-defense through Monty Python. They never taught about the pointed sticks, but, at
Got
least
some holy hand grenades. Anything.
whip a holy hand grenade, that's kind of overkill.
Yeah. As long as you don't count to 5. You
Yeah.
count to 3.
True. I was actually watching Adam's Family the other day. He was telling Pugsley to hand over the holy hand grenades.
Mm.
He's like, hand over this, and the TNT, and the explosives, and the holy hand grenades. And I was like, yeah, they went there. But yeah, I mean, you could probably go around, pick up a stick, and start swinging it around. You might actually defend yourself from a small group, and I would imagine, I would say just run away from them. To be honest, it would just be like, get them the fuck off, and
Right, like you just like swiftly walk.
yeah. I mean,
They don't
depending,
have balance and coordination. They're not chasing you.
not all of them. There might be one that's an athlete amongst their species.
Oh, they're gonna run like drunk people.
Oh yeah,
You're
that's what I say. It's just get away from them.
You're gonna
You really-
take off and you're gonna run this direction. They're gonna be like,
It's like you're getting chased by a bunch of 5-year-old toddlers.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, if you really,
yeah, 5 years that have like a good solid dose of Dimetap in them. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, they could be hurt same as any other person. I mean, there's no immunities to anything. It's just normal person, slightly. I would say
Yeah.
slightly more. It was
oh, you thought you were gonna make it through?
Yeah, I was. Because I want to save my toenails.
you thought you was gonna make it through?
Uh, for those that don't know, it's someone tried to play footsies, and I don't think it's appropriate time right now. Ninja was talking. Go ahead,
Nice.
Ninja. Not
Yeah.
nice. No, not nice. Don't.
Hey, you guys
don't-
always
don't
play
accept-
footsies over there.
Yeah, well, you should start footsying him because I'm getting sick of it. I don't want to be. This is gonna 3-way. It's not a 2-way.
We got some good footsies going on right now. Cheating on you.
Good.
How do you like it?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we had something special.
Nope.
Apparently not.
This is the 90s episode where their breakup happens.
Do
Damn.
I run crying to my room now? Is that
You get a guest star celebrity to tell you everything's going to be okay, or your dad comes on.
I'm gonna hire
Mom.
Coolio to kill you?
No,
Coolio.
there's
Like Coolio.
there was no death in the 90s. If anything, my character gets replaced with a whole new person, and you guys just don't mention it.
Get Tupac come in here. He got the juice.
No,
Actually-
you would do a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to me, where they just replace Aunt Viv and don't say
Yeah.
shit.
No, I figured, what's his name? Didn't he mention it?
Yeah,
Will
he's like,
Smith's
oh
friend.
yeah, he's like, Aunt Viv, you looking different, and they're like,
Yeah, Jazz. that's what
whatever.
it was.
Oh, Jazz, yeah.
I was like, there's one guy that brought it up, and like everybody was just like looking at him. But let's see, where were we?
We were talking about how to kill mentally handicapped people.
No, it was Melon Heads, and they're different.
They're not.
Melon Heads.
Just wave around a stick, probably, little torch, just wave it around, scare them off. Or if they keep coming after you and you can't run, if you can't outrun these things and actually,
You're on crutches. You're on crutches if you can't outrun
there's
these.
no way you should be able to outrun these guys.
You could break your leg mid-run and still get away from them.
Pretty much, yeah. And you know what? And if you still can't for some weird reason, like your friend just kicks you and trips you so he can run, just kill everything like you would normal, I guess. Just go for the head.
Oh. Well, Andrew, are you fighting it?
If I have to, yeah. With my broom armor, so I can push it back.
He's gonna sweep them across the road.
You're saying multiples? Hell no. Because then two on one's unfair. In my book. Even if they're both not as strong, it's like they got the numbers game. Eventually, I'm going to have to close one eye, and then they're going to disappear on me.
What about you, Ninja? I'm going to answer this question last because I'm bleeding into the are they real topic. With my
Okay.
whole-
I mean, If I'm ambushed by a whole bunch of them where I have to, I mean, yeah. I mean, I would just normally just like they'll be coming after me, just kind of like poke them with a stick so they will keep you. They'll be coming after you, and you'll be like, no, get away.
I'm not fighting these guys, and I'm not fighting these guys on principle. Like, we have people who were in a facility because they had a medical condition.
That's the one story though, right?
That's all three of them.
Oh, okay.
All three of them. It was the same medical condition across the board. They had a medical condition, and they ended up in the woods trying to fend for themselves. Right? And this is a debilitating medical condition. They're weaker. They can't most of them have cognitive abilities. Like, they're not. We got a woods full of handicapped people.
Look,
and then we ran with a legend.
and
People created a legend about mentally handicapped people who were put into a super unfortunate situation where they escaped an abuser and then got stuck out in the fucking woods.
Okay.
And now they're trying to survive. And that way people are like, oh, there's some crazy retards in the woods. That's not nice. That
It is
isn't
not nice.
right.
It
That's
is
what I
nice,
said.
but one thing I need to tell you, handicapped people just want to be treated like normal people.
Yeah, they don't want to get
And
fucking beat the fuck up by normal people.
If it's a normal person being a cannibal, then I'm going to throw some hands.
It's not a normal person being a cannibal. It's a handicapped person who can't walk straight.
And doesn't know
Being a
better.
cannibal.
Trying to be a cannibal because you have to be really fucking stupid to let somebody catch you. You have to be tied to a tree.
No.
You have got to be
no.
tied to a tree to get
There-
caught by one of these guys.
Okay, what if you got 50 on you?
There aren't that many because they're inbreeding like crazy.
Yeah, and that's what they do. They have 50 of them.
You can't because the babies are going to die left and right.
Then they throw the dead babies
If
at you.
these guys are from the 60s, at this point, they were 3 more generations down the line. Those babies don't live. They don't
Vast
live.
majority of them don't.
And if they are, they're coming out mentally retarded on top of having this hydrocephalus, which is causing further cognitive abilities. These babies are not surviving. There's going to be like 4.
What if they're all like sloth? You got 4 sloth babies coming at you.
But they're not. And they can't see straight. The most common symptom is blurred or double vision
Right.
and imbalance issues. They can't balance.
Yeah, but if you have
They're going to veer to the right and hit a tree.
so
while
here
trying to chase you.
Listen to me. I'm gonna use the same thing that airplanes use, right? So airplanes have 3 boxes to tell them what level they're at because you can't really tell up from down from whatever. So you have a captain side, you have a passenger side, you have the one in the center. So if one of the devices mix up or is failing, you switch the others. So what I'm saying is you take one of these guys with blurry vision, another blurry vision, and they both confirm and see the same blurry vision. That's a true image.
They still have the imbalance issues.
Yeah, but you got a hand holding.
If you broke both of my legs,
Yeah.
I could army crawl away faster than these guys will be able to catch me because they can't walk straight.
Correct. But what if they already knew where you were going to be?
How?
Because they have traps everywhere.
No, they don't because they don't have the cognitive ability to set those traps.
Yes.
They have them everywhere.
They don't. They don't.
They're just spaced out.
We have mentally retarded people in the woods that people came up with a horrible legend about, and I'm not fighting them because it ain't right.
I'm telling you, I'm fine with it if it comes to a life or death and there's like 20 of them. Most of the time, I would just walk
Well,
away.
look, I'm not
You
trying.
could bum rush their little crowd. You could bum rush and push past them. They have imbalance issues. You could just be like,
So
and just
here-
shoulder check them and get away.
Here's the thing about that: the fighting, I would fight, but I would not be the person that was putting them down. If anything, I would just try to move past them or
But that's all you have to
incapacitate
do.
them.
You could just like
Exactly.
run, shoulder check
Yeah.
one, and then just keep going. Like,
Like I'm not
Yeah.
trying to come out and give them hands.
you know, if
Yeah.
to all those people that came up with these stories, like, oh yeah, they ripped me out of a car. Oh, they chased me down. Oh, they hit me with a big log. No, the fuck they didn't. Shame on you. Shame on you for coming up with those stories.
But
That's fucked up.
they did hit him with a big log,
They did not.
But
if
I
it
mean,
was, it was the dick.
It did say that they have been known to
and
take
that's
out
how
a
they
deer.
have multiple babies, man.
Oh Jesus Christ!
It did say they could take out a deer.
Hung
So there
like
has to be, a
They're
bunch
not-
of them.
Yeah, they took down a deer that was already dead.
hung like a melon.
Probably.
Deer? You ever seen a deer in the wild? They're the most agile motherfuckers in the whole world when it comes to dashing through those trees.
Yeah.
And now you're
Not
gonna
a
say
sick one.
they're gonna say that mentally retarded people with imbalance issues who see double are chasing down a deer. No, the fuck they're not.
They don't have to
No,
chase
the
it down
fuck
when
they're
it's
not.
sleeping.
Deer can hear you fart 5 miles away. Like you're not sneaking up on no deer. You're
What?
not.
Sick one, maybe.
You come up in a tunnel and bash out their leg with a rock.
If it was sick with coronavirus, dying in the woods from respiratory issues because it can't go anywhere because it can't breathe, maybe then they're catching it. You're right.
Yeah, there's tons of deers like
This
that.
is awful. No, and then this is why I'm saying this is bleeding the next session because these things don't exist. People with a severe
With the disease.
disease that requires surgery to alleviate, that's causing mental disabilities to the point of mental retardation, turning you into a vegetable, it's degrading your ability to function. You can't see, you can't balance, you have a lack of strength, you're not surviving in the woods. These people don't exist.
No, those are symptoms that you can possibly have. It's not saying that every single thing will be
but
that
it's
symptom.
what I'm saying, it's a laundry list, and even having just one of these issues on that laundry list is physically debilitating to your ability to survive.
Well,
Especially with the most common ones.
look at the people that take medicine to feel better and the laundry list that it gives
But
you.
they're not taking medicine.
What are they eating? Some
No,
berries that
no,
are fixing them?
No. I'm saying like beneficial medicine that give you list of abilities. These guys have list of disabilities. You're not getting every single one, and I'm not warranting and saying whatever. I'm just saying like
But like even if they're not getting every single one, it's almost guaranteed that almost every single one of them has some sort of vision issue and balance issue.
yeah, that is a hundo.
You're not surviving with those problems.
Well, yeah. Somehow. Maybe aliens, or not aliens. Yeah, maybe aliens took them in like us. Or maybe they get a wolf cub and become part of the wolf pack, and then they become like
Or maybe-
Mowgli, and they get a cool ass bear companion.
And the bear's the one that's catching you. All right, I believe that.
Yeah, the bear
Let's-
catches you, and then you get to
Freaking
sing.
panther. as
Let's
well.
talk about how to fight a bear then, because you need at least more than a 45, because the skull of a bear will deflect a 45 caliber.
You sing
round.
with King
Kick it in the
Louie.
nuts.
King,
I saw that video.
That was such a great video.
you do what my dad says, is you cut a hole in the ice and you put a pea next to it. So when the polar bear comes for the pea, you kick it in the ice hole. Dad joke. Yeah.
Your dad has achieved a level of
I love
master
him.
I can only ever
He said one.
aspire to be.
He was talking about the Bible the other day, and he was trying to understand the 10 Commandments, and he was like, "I really don't get adultery." I'm like, "What don't you get it?" And he goes, "Is it basically saying you can't have your Kate and your Mary too?" Or sorry, you can't have your Kate and Edith too. Sorry, I messed that one up. You can't have your Kate and your Edith too.
Damn.
Yeah,
Damn.
Kate and Edith.
I hope he went to confession afterwards.
He told that joke to my mom.
Is your mom's named Kate or Edith?
No.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
She gonna be like, "Who's Kate and who's Edith?"
My dad's a card. He's a jokester.
It sounds
So
like it.
she knows.
Props to Andrew's dad, because it takes balls to say something like that to your wife,
Yeah.
and then trust that you're gonna wake up breathing the next day.
Oh, he didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, she killed him.
Yeah, he's gone.
Oh,
I'm just
okay.
joking. I love my dad. He's a definitely interesting fellow.
But no, there's definitely no way these guys exist.
So you're going with nose.
God no.
I don't think so. I know the disease exists. I don't think there's a pack of them hanging out in caves or whatever. So I'll go with the no on that.
I mean, I put their survival rate at like maximum 3 weeks, because that's how long it takes you to starve to death.
Yeah.
They might be able to
Well,
find
they-
water. An
I
instinct
was
will
gonna
tell you
say-
to drink some water, especially if you're in
Yeah.
a cave system, and that water's gonna be filtered because you're in a cave.
Yeah.
So
They might eat mushrooms and find maybe non-poisonous.
Yeah, maybe
ones.
that treats it.
Yeah,
They
like I
just
mean,
ate a whole bunch of mushrooms,
Yeah.
and they were like, "I can talk now."
unless like there's bat guano or whatever in the water, you might be able to drink. You're probably gonna be able to drink that water. Be all right.
Guano.
If they're
Be all right.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Yeah, I'll be honest with this one. I think at the time these things took place, were those people there? Yes, but are they here now? No.
And not to mention, even if they are cannibals, like it says, if how many people are out in those woods that they're able to eat these people? Because I looked up the rates of people disappearing out in those woods, not high enough to support a colony of people.
Well, they could also
Well, it's
be.
probably whatever they find. I mean, is
They could also be eating the babies that don't survive.
I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Sorry.
I mean,
This is a very-
it's a legitimate point, but
yeah.
you know what? They're not cooking this stuff.
No.
They're not cooking it. Humans, not exactly
Well,
clean
that's what
meat.
your
I was gonna say
that's what your
unless
appendix is for.
They got a George Foreman grill.
But the
out
thing
there.
is, we don't exactly have clean meat.
Yeah.
I know.
We're pretty prone to like intestinal parasites, and a lot of us spend a lot of time with parasites in our like pinworms. I guarantee you that throughout our lives, and I know for a fact that I've had them at one point, but we've all experienced pinworms. And
I'll have to Google that later.
well, the most common sign that you have pinworms is an itchy ass.
Oh. No, I haven't had that.
Like they're so common, and like they eventually just go on their own, or you can get like an antibiotic to get rid of them or whatever. But they're so common that it's almost guaranteed that each and every one of us has experienced them at least one point in our lives.
Gotcha.
And like if you've ever had a point where your butt has been just crazy itchy, like damn, like especially first thing in the morning or at night, you're like, oh, my ass itches. One of two things: you either don't know how to wipe yourself, which would explain why you're buying all that toilet paper, or you got pinworms, and they don't affect your health. They come out in your butt to breed.
Yeah,
and they're itchy. Boom. Humans have parasites constantly. Like it's our meat's disgusting.
We have a whole
So-
bunch of stuff in our body. Like E. coli is a thing in our bodies that we naturally have in there.
It's in your armpits. It's on your skin right now. People, you have E. coli on
Oh, yeah.
you. It's in your armpits.
There's a whole lot of diseases and stuff that are naturally in your body. Not enough to do anything, but they are there.
Honestly, if you're on your phone's covered in that crap. That's why I don't
Your
understand
phone,
if you're-
keyboard, and mouse have more fecal matter on them than your toilet.
why people don't clean their phone if there's epidemic. Wouldn't your phone be the first thing that'd be infected?
Because they think theirs is cleaner than anybody else's.
I'm not a joke. I wash my phone pretty regularly. I take it out of the case. I wash the phone. I wash the case because, like, and it's due for it right now. But like, look at there's grime right in there. Like it's gross.
Yeah.
Phones are gross.
Yeah. Did you say yay or nay to this thing, Ninja?
I said that I don't think they exist now.
Okay.
Like back when it happened, yes, people went into the woods and that, but I doubt they would have bred enough to actually stay 2 or 3 generations.
Yeah,
I
that-
don't think they're around now.
That story, that story to that point is definitely believable. Like, hey, there was this facility where people with this debilitating condition were being abused by a guy, and they banded together and fucking killed him.
Yeah.
And then they ran off into the woods. Like, okay, yeah,
I could
Sure.
see see something like that.
that could
but-
totally happen.
Yeah,
Why not?
the legends about like generations of inbreeding and they're still out there. Like I don't think
Your asylum for the criminally insane lit on fire, and during the commotion, 10 to 20 patients, potentially with this condition, managed to escape into the woods. Yeah, you got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
There's no reason that couldn't happen.
exactly.
They survived for several generations at this point. No, they
I-
didn't. They didn't live longer than a month.
If it was in the dead of winter, yeah. If it was in the summer, they'd be fine for a little
If they
bit.
managed to find something to eat that didn't kill them.
I mean, there could definitely be a luck factor. They probably, a few months until winter came and then they're screwed.
Yeah, maybe, but they're not. They didn't. No, they didn't live.
Yeah.
They didn't become some crazy cannibals out there who are trying to eat your babies and whatever.
Yeah, I can't see that happen. The first winter would just take them out.
Let's strap Andrew up with Brumar. That's how confident I am. We'll strap Andrew up with Brumar and we'll send him out there for a night.
On Dracula Road or whatever? Fuck that.
By himself.
No, thank you.
Actually,
And
No,
I
we-
promise you he comes out of it okay.
We should
If anything, he gets attacked by a bobcat.
yeah, probably. We should totally put a thing on the Patreon.
What if they have bobcats, man? What if they got the ability to purchase technology and they got a freaking bobcat? Like the vehicle.
They just hit you with a bulldozer.
Yeah.
Bang!
And it's like the whole Austin Powers thing where it's like a steamroller coming at me. I'm like,
Wrecked with a backhoe. Wrecked with a backhoe.
Yeah. Oh, man.
At that point, they deserve the kill. It's just like you went out of your way 110%.
Yeah, you fucking swing a backhoe around and knock me upside the head with a backhoe. First, I'm not gonna live through that. Second of all, you earned it.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's do something unique this time.
Okay.
Ninja, close us out. Do you remember everything we say?
Not at the end, no.
All right, we'll try.
I'll try.
Mhm.
I remember we do have a Facebook, Cryptid Technical on Facebook. We have a Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram.
Yep.
We're also on
Barrenland Stew?
Ninja's a melon head.
No, let him go. Let him go. He's got it. He's got it so far.
I wouldn't be surprised. Friggin' with what I got right now, my brain is not working.
Yeah. You're close. You got two more.
I mean, the Cast Junkie.
Cast Junkie. Okay, you had two more. I forgot about that one.
Hooray. I do one that they didn't. Awesome. No,
How
but,
can they reach us on Twitter?
Oh, I said that. Barrenland Stew.
Oh, okay, you covered him?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he did.
All right.
He's just got
Do you need a
the
lifeline?
email.
The email, cryptidtechnical@gmail.com.
Yep. And the most important one of them all, thanking the fans for listening.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. We love you. It's been awesome.
Yes. Check out the Melon Heads, man.
But feel bad while you do it.
Yeah. No, don't feel bad. Okay, goodbye.
Yeah.
Peace.